in God's name is going on in here? What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Okay, here's what I would have done. Bro, no one cares what you would have done. Actually, everyone cares. Welcome to Let Me Book the Territory, the podcast made for smart marks and nostalgia nerds. Brought to you by the Embrace the Turn-Up Podcast Network. And now your hosts, A-Dub,
BA,
E-Ray, and J-Mo.
Let's get rocking and rolling here. Are we all recording? 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys just missed the greatest just flame session on the AEW show because we're not putting that on pod this week. This is Let Me Book the Territory, the greatest wrestling podcast of all time. I'm your host, the not so humble one himself, the pod god, the pod tribal chief, if you will. I am A-Dub. Joining me, as always, is the homie Quantum Leaping from WrestleMania to SummerSlam to Wrestle Kingdom, all the way here. I'm talking about Black IRS himself, BAP History. BA's in the building. BA, what up?
Hey, Dub, my brother, tribal pod chief, we the ones. How you doing, my brother? I'm good. BA DiBiase is in the building, Black IRS, all that fun stuff. I had to take last week off. E-Ray and Dub said I got into some Kanye-like trouble concerning a country in Africa that shall remain nameless. So we gonna we gonna brush under that. But yeah, BA's done quantum leaping.
No, we can't brush up under it, BA.
What you mean? What you mean? Kanye got to apologize and everybody no forgiving? No? Because
Namor came up from Atlantis and kidnapped E-Ray, and the Wakanda said they will not help us get him back until you apologize to the entire nation of Wakanda.
That they didn't say like
so
when
just
the
say
movie
Wakanda forever
next?
one time.
Yeah, the underwater Mexicans got him, man.
Throw it up, man.
There it is. All right, Black Panther, you heard that. Please go get our man's E-Ray so he can join us next week.
Yes.
I don't know how good he can swim, so I don't know if he should be underwater that long.
At least before Wakanda Forever come out.
But that being said, taking his place from the Inaudiverse, we just got this multiverse of pod craziness. The homie Free is in the building, making his Let Me Book the Territory debut. Free, what is poppin'?
Yo, what's good, man? I've been waiting for this moment. The forbidden door is finally open, and your boy Free is here.
Woo.
A.K.A. Booker Free. A.K.A. Lukewarm Steve Austin.
Ooh.
A.K.A. Steiner Math Tutor. Let's go.
Oh, shit. I love the AKAs. Free coming in.
I like that one.
That's that IR in him. I love it. That's what's
all
up.
right, fellas. So we gonna hop right into it because it's late and old man A-Dub got to get to bed to get to work in the morning. Anyways, we're gonna start with BA's favorite topic in the world. Free. We're gonna talk about Bray Wyatt and this White Rabbit, and we're gonna talk about Uncle Howdy. All right, I want to get your opinions right now. Who do you guys think Uncle Howdy is, and how is this gonna work into the Bray Wyatt character? BA, I know you're gonna think on it a little bit, so I'm gonna start with our illustrious guest, Free. Let me hear what you're thinking, bro.
I mean, I really think to me it was kind of obvious. I think it's Bray Wyatt.
Oh, shit,
I know
that's
the internet chatter is trying to say that it's Bo Dallas from like they saw an earring or whatever, but I'm like, unless they dubbed Bray's voice over Uncle Howdy, it sounds literally just like him. I think if you can kind of look through the mask, it kind of looks like him. It's to me, it's got to be Bray Wyatt. And it just goes to show that, you know, even though I'm personally a huge fan of Bray Wyatt, been a huge fan since he first came to WWE. Right. I didn't really see him in NXT, but when he first came to WWE with the Wyatt family. But the one criticism that people have that I can't really defend him against is that everything involving him always ends up going like downgrading to nonsense after a while. And we're starting pretty soon with this. I'm still waiting to see where it goes, but I'm like, okay, it's a little ridiculous already.
Start off right with the nonsense. Okay.
Understood.
So, I do think it's Bo Dallas, and I do think they're dubbing Bray's voice over just to give the character like an extra effect. Like, so that being said, I don't think you'll ever see Bo Dallas' Uncle Howdy ever cut any promos in the ring. I think everything he'll cut will be like backstage and stuff. But I do think it's an interesting thing because bringing Bray Wyatt back, like it was this huge thing. When he came out there, that pop was unreal.
Man.
And you could justify putting him right in the title picture, but then you're like, but you can't job him out to Roman because part of the problem with Bray originally was that he was such a powerful orator, if you will, but he kept losing, so his words lost meaning. This time around, he's still great on the microphone, but like he's trying to be himself because he feels like, he was lost at a time when he wasn't on WWE television, but also he is kind of this evil guy. So I think this is gonna like be him coming to terms with his demons. What worries me about it is like after Uncle Howdy, if it is Bo Dallas or somebody else, then what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you feeling me on this one? I mean, I know you're the biggest White Rabbit fan here.
I hope y'all hear the heavy breathing of just me having to entertain Dubs, like entertainment over this whole Bray Wyatt thing. Like I've said in the past,
I'm a narrative builder.
I don't mind this stuff. I entertain it, but like it's just over 9 years of being married. I don't got time for this, man. And my real, I get to it. Who is this man? Where's this storyline going? That's all I really care about. But for the sake of our listeners, who I think it is, honestly, it's either gonna be Bo Dallas or I saw some interesting juice on Twitter. Malachi Black, the eye thing, the white eye is what like people are trying to kind of say like that could be Malachi. But what kind of makes me,
I thought that too.
What kind of makes me think it's not him is just kind of the point. Like now that Free brought it up, like that probably is Bray Wyatt dressed up like that. Maybe it probably won't be him once they start introducing Uncle Howdy at live events. They'll probably let Bo Dallas be that character. But I think right now it's him talking to himself. But it'll be somebody else once it's actually unveiled. God knows when that happens. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. I don't know how how long this gonna go. But
Bray's gonna be at Crown Jewel. I can't imagine them flying him over there, giving him $1 million to cut something backstage. That would be weird. You know what I mean? Like if he was going to do another backstage promo,
maybe if Vince was here still, I would be devil's advocate and say we've seen weird stuff. But to your point, I don't think Trips is going to do that. I don't think so. So I think you're right with that.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping we get the Uncle Howdy reveal at Crown Jewel on Saturday afternoon wrestling. Everybody. Can't wait.
The Saudi Blood Money special.
Yep.
Saudi Blood Money 12.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now they got to be on alert for terrorist attacks because Saudi was
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, like. So that's how I know that check has to be at least $1 million.
Oh,
because I'm like, and you want me to go where?
Most of the
after
dudes,
what?
Most of the dudes on that card, it's a couple. Like at least 2.5 type of deal. Like I don't see Brock Lesnar showing up for $1 million.
Exactly. You got it.
Brock's like I need at least
to go to
3
Saudi
for my
Arabia.
troubles.
He don't even like leaving his house.
Yeah.
Correct. You got this man on the plane for like 20 hours. Like no, y'all paying. Y'all.
and you know Brock on the corporate jet too. He didn't. They probably chartered a jet for the rest of the talent, but Brock's on the corporate jet, sitting right next to Trips.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All the CE whatevers in the organization for sure.
The CEOs, the COOs,
CFOs.
And then it's Brock, and then it's Roman.
Yep.
And the Honorary Uso, of course, because
oh man,
the Honorary Uso is the greatest thing on television right now.
Yes, I have to agree. With that.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
The next layer of that story about Sammy using the word Usi and this breaking character out of everybody Was that not the greatest thing you guys have ever seen?
It was hilarious. And it seems like such a stupid word there. Like, how do you get that effect out of people? But it just broke them. It broke them. And then when they broke, I broke.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh yeah, it's like watching a skit on SNL and like waiting for like them to like start cracking up at the stuff they doing when it's actually good stuff happening on SNL. That's a whole nother discussion in the show. But
different show,
whole different show, different podcast. But Sammy, he added a whole nother dimension to the bloodline I didn't think was possible. To make these dudes like the whole breaking character thing is like kind of making them even cooler, if that was possible, as far as in the eyes of the wrestling universe and how they position the bloodline and stuff. Because not only will they not just whoop your ass, now we're funny, and we got this dude that's funny, but he'll also throw hands too, in Sammy. So yeah, I'm more curious on when is the blow up between Jay and Sammy coming. That's what we all here for. It's coming.
I feel like at this point you could drag this through Mania.
You
Really?
easily could.
And
then the other question is, like, what's going to be the turn? Is it going to be
Survivor Series? Something has to happen before then.
I mean,
especially in an environment like War Games, because you could say the pressure's on and someone's going to crack. That's good booking right there.
Correct.
I mean, yeah, we're 3 weeks away from Survivor Series, so I don't know. I think you kick him out after Rumble, and then I think you get like Sammy and Solo or Sammy and Jay at Mania, because to not have the Usos defend those tag titles at Mania is insane. But on the same token, this Jay Uso Sami Zayn thing is just so great. It's so great. I wouldn't mind him having like a Jay Uso versus Sami Zayn match at like, I don't know, Elimination Chamber or whatever the pay-per-view is before Mania, like after the Rumble.
Could I propose something kind of crazy?
Go ahead and book the territory.
Absolutely, that's what we're here for.
Would you be able to buy into, because Sammy is so over right now, would you be able to buy into him like kind of being like a Seth Rollins of the bloodline and like destroying it from within to the point that he gets the bloodline over as faces? Could you guys see that happening?
I mean, to your point, Freed, if that's what's going to happen, the nucleus is being built of that theory right now, with everybody breaking character and kind of like this kiki shit that's going on with them. That's the nucleus for your theory. So yeah, I'd be here for it, man. That's something different, exciting.
I like it as an idea
because the crowd wants to cheer them, especially Roman. They want to cheer. They're already cheering Roman.
Yeah.
They want them to be faces.
Like, but the thing is, like, to do that, you have to commit to Sammy as your Mania main eventer.
That's
because for him to break up the bloodline, like, Roman's not gonna, stand by that, and he's gonna handle it. So at that point, you have to commit to Sammy as your main eventer.
And maybe that goes to BA's point of doing this sooner rather than later, because maybe it doesn't have to be Mania. Maybe you blow it off at, say, the Rumble. And then you can start to build into Mania, and then maybe that's where Dwayne comes in if he's going to come.
Dwayne has to show up. He has to give us this one last one. He has to.
We've been asking for Dwayne since this podcast became a thing last year.
I mean, I don't know. It's not as bad as Survivor Series last year, where they dedicated the whole show to The Rock and he didn't show up.
Right, that damn egg stuff. That was so cringe.
Yeah, that was an epic fail. But I mean, I like that idea. But this thing is just so over. I think I would get as much life out of it as I possibly could, and I feel like you could drag it out to at least a Rumble before Jay's like damn near about to go insane and he's talking to himself like Bray Wyatt, like, no man, you gotta go. He in the back just talking to Uncle Howdy damn near.
Can we?
Like, we got to get this guy up out of here.
Can we talk about another underrated part of their whole, thing right now is when Sammy was talking about going to Waffle House and Jay perked up like it was
Listen, I've been there. You about to get into a fight at the club and like you pissed off because your boy done started some shit and like, come on, we just gonna go to the Waffle House and you forget everything.
Right.
And my Cali people, my Cali listeners, this is what we are missing out on. Because I've been to my fair share of Waffle Houses and it's an amazing place. I haven't had the late night Waffle House experience, but just going is like, this place is special.
Oh man, there's something special about like Midwest and Southern diner food.
Yes,
like Waffle House in particular, like it's so good and so satisfying. Like I wouldn't recommend it to you. Like if you say, "Hey, where's a good place to eat?" I wouldn't say Waffle House.
No, unless you half in the bag, nah, not at all.
Yeah, but I would say to somebody like, you won't leave out of any restaurant that I would recommend to you more satisfied than you will leaving out of a Waffle House. Because of what you spent, how much you got, how good the food was for the desolate conditions it was cooked in. You'd be like, damn, they made some miracles happen back here.
The desolate conditions the food was cooked in. I'm sure people are running to the Midwest right now to go to Waffle House.
BA, you ever been in a clean Waffle House?
No, never. Every time I go,
I was gonna say,
the menu is probably the dirtiest thing on the table when I sit down. But that tells me I'm home.
Why is it sticking to my hand?
Exactly.
Like a clean Waffle House is like a Popeyes with like nice employees. You know the food's gonna be trash.
Oh yeah.
You're like, what is this?
Absolutely.
Why y'all so nice in here? Oh, this spicy about to be trash.
Yep. Spicy gonna be mild as fuck. Yes.
It's gonna be mid.
Yes.
Very mid.
Yes.
You know what else was mid, guys? The decision to take those tag titles off of Damage Control.
So
to
weird.
put them on another thrown together tag team. I didn't understand it. I went to sleep Monday night thinking there's no way they pull these belts off of Damage Control. Woke up in the morning to BA text messages pissed off. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, come on.
I was like, did Vince, was that on his like last will and testament of being chairman? Like, you got to take the belts off established team and put it on a random team. That's such good shit.
I don't like teams with names.
Right.
That's such good shit. Do this for me one more time, H. Do it for me, H.
We all believe that they're going to get those belts back at Crown Jewel, right?
You would imagine.
I hope
or
so.
It's a bridge to
point?
a bridge to a better thing than Damage Control, maybe. I don't think the only bridge that would make people kind of put this away would be Naomi and Sasha. And y'all see on social media, they not thinking about coming back right now. They doing entirely
living
too much.
Best life.
Right.
I've heard rumors that Becky might be in Saudi this weekend. I'm not really buying it, but I've heard that rumor.
I mean, Seth is her man. She could just be rolling with Seth.
That's true. No, that's definitely true.
Well, they do need one more person apiece if we think that this is going to be the women's War Games match.
Those
matches are always 4-on-4.
That's what it is. Yes, they got to make that match. Like you said, Survivor Series is 3 weeks away, and you can see what that's about to be as far as the women's War Games match.
They got some books.
So who does Charlotte join? Does she join Damage Control, or do they try and force her to be a face?
I think Charlotte's way back is to Ronda, because Ronda's going to be doing open challenge after open challenge. Yep. And then Ronda's going to do one at the Rumble, and it's going to be Charlotte, and it's going to be a pop.
Oh, yeah. She's going to get a crazy pop.
She going to get a return pop, and that's going to be the image they want, because they hold Charlotte up to this high level that they want her to get these types of pops in these big moments, and she doesn't always get them. But they know a return pop at the Rumble to take that belt off of Ronda, who it just don't work, man.
She's not that bad.
And she's putting more effort in, so I'm giving her credit for that. But yeah,
Thank you, Free.
All the credit in the world, and she should have been a heel to start.
That's the biggest issue.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think Vince just saw her smile, and she has a beautiful smile, and he said, "You can't turn someone like that heel." And he was dead fucking wrong.
He must have never watched UFC.
That woman's been a heel her entire UFC career. She should have walked in there being a heel, and I'm not saying it would have worked, but it would have been better.
The problem is, the SmackDown, the women's roster on SmackDown, they're not really equipped to be able to carry Ronda through a good match. I'm not convinced Shayna can, because Shayna's still she's dope, but she doesn't have that much experience, but she's dope.
Yo, it's E-Ray, the quasi bad guy, the Diet Coke of evil, the side god of pod, and I'm here to tell y'all, come check out my show, Binge Flicks and Chill. You never know what you're gonna get, but we always talking some good shit when it comes to television and the latest movies. So we want to bring y'all in. We want to make sure you have a good time. You learn something, you laugh, you cry, you might stab a nigga or two. I don't know what you're gonna get, but that shit's popping. So come check out Binge Flicks and Chill. And it's me, E-Ray, and I'm out.
I agree with you on that.
Shayna's got more experience than you think. I think she did like 5 years on the Indies before she got to NXT.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
But I don't think she a ring general, though.
Is like, I was gonna say, issue with Shayna is like, as long as her title reign was in NXT, I never saw a match of Shayna Baszler and be like, damn, that was a great match. Never saw one I said like that was a bad match. But like, I think she gave validity to that title as like, this is an actual title for fighting sport. But I never watched a Shayna Baszler match. I was like, damn, that was a great match. I can never say one was bad. And like, she always had okay to good mic work, and like her foil was always someone who was interesting as a foil to her. Whether it had been Bliss, whether it had been Rhea Ripley, whether it had been Ember Moon, they were always interesting as a foil to her. But then like the blow off was never like, damn.
She's another one whose voice doesn't fit their look, so I think she suffers from that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that. She's just you can't really put her in a box. Like, people you want to put Shayna in a box of this is who she is, but she got too much going on. That's why I was shocked to hear what you just said about her being on the Indies for 5 years.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, you would think she would have some more ring generalness about her, like as far as her in-ring work. But I feel like she like you said, she's not a bad worker, but she doesn't stick out to me like a Sasha or a Charlotte or a Becky or even a Bianca or Bayley, as far as that, that she's gonna go in there and put in work. Like, but I also don't align her with like a Alexa Bliss or formerly when she was Mandy, but now Lamanda has kind of stepped up her game. So yeah, it's like she has a weird like middle ground in the women's division. She ain't the bottom tier of talent as far as working goes, but she ain't up there with the top notch. So
I think she would be a great person to hold like a women's IC title, man.
Oh Lord.
Dana Brooks said recently she would love to turn the 24/7 title into a women's mid-card title, which I think is a phenomenal
The USA
idea.
title?
But I think the
Fox title?
I think the first step is they would have to take that belt off of Dana Brooke to legitimize it immediately. But Shayna Baszler could be somebody who could hold that belt for a long time. You'd be like, I mean, that's a working woman's title. I mean, bad choice of words.
We understood the intent.
Yeah.
Oldest profession.
It's a work
in the
rate
world.
title. BA. The penalty box is still open, sir. The penalty box is still open.
Hey man, you said it.
I've seen that floated out there a lot. Raquel Rodriguez, she said it.
Big back pose.
E-Ray loves the back pose, man. I'm not bought in either. I'm like kind of like with y'all, but I think Dove's not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of her.
We just need to know where she was on January 6th. That's all we need to know.
Just hopefully not hanging out with.
Hopefully
not hanging
right
out
next
with
to Chris Jericho's wife.
Exactly. I was gonna say hopefully not hanging out with anybody with the last name Jericho. I would hope.
She was with Jericho's wife. Everybody else that went to those Control Your Narrative shows.
We'll find out here as
the
the January 6th committee gets closer and closer to figuring out what the fuck happened that day.
She was sitting on LA City Council a couple weeks ago. My Cali people, that's an inside joke for them, especially if you live in LA.
Yeah, but so what do you guys think about like a mid-card women's title? Do you think that's like something they should do like immediately, or should they draw it out a little bit?
It's like yes and no, because
like, do some more call-ups.
Yes and no, because we see AEW suffering from having way too many damn belts right now, and And while
Don't get me started on them motherfuckers and they belts.
I think what might be able to be a fix that can kind of handle that is kind of maybe NXT titles defended on the big brands more, but then that might kind of take away from NXT. Because I don't want that. I would like to see it, but I don't want to see it, and then it's like delegitimized within like 3 to 6 months.
So like I wouldn't mind it because I don't think it's adding a belt at all if you just take away the 24/7 title, because clearly Triple H doesn't like the whole, hey, you 5 jobbers run around and chase each other thing. Like,
it's dumb as hell.
There's a way to do it. Put it on main event. Put it, like have it defended at more house shows. Like you can do it in a way you can make main event more important. Like for a long time, like main event was having like the best weekly wrestling and it wasn't close. Shit.
What, the 80s?
There's a title you could have defended. No, like Cedric Alexander Ricochet matches.
What?
Google them.
Oh, this must have been like early 2010s or some shit.
No, this was like a year ago.
What? Everybody look at main event like that's like a slap in the face.
Right.
Wrestlers have said it as much.
Right before Cedric joined the Hurt Business, he was having bangers with Ricochet.
That's probably
week after week.
There's probably bangers on main event all the time, but we just never hear about them because it's main event.
I mean, I was only hearing about them through like the Twitterverse, and I'll go back and watch them.
Yeah, right after NXT
like
UK, huh? Yeah.
I never watched NXT UK. Never watched it in my life.
Let's see. I'll wake up Saturday morning, 8 a.m. main event, 9 a.m. NXT UK, 10 a.m. AEW Dark Elevation. I know, Dub. I know it. I get it,
205 Live. Now NXT Level Up.
The Steve shows.
I was digging 205 Live a lot, especially like I came in right when he's in AEW now. I forget, he got some Buddy Matthews when he had that feud with
Buddy. Tony Nese?
No, Mustafa.
Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, when they had them crazy street fights on 205 Live, that's what kind of got me in for a little bit.
That Buddy Matthews Mustafa Ali match from the very first Australia show, that was the best match on that card. They tore it down.
That's when the foreign shows were actually good. When they first started doing them, but they weren't just doing them in Saudi Arabia. Those were some, except for the main event, where it'd be like 2 washed wrestlers damn near killing each other.
do a show in Australia. It's on like 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're like, wait, what? I gotta watch wrestling before I brush my teeth? Come on, guys. What are we doing over here?
That's another reason I don't watch the Saudi shows. I am not watching wrestling at 9:30 in the morning Cali time. No, sir.
No. Oh, yeah. That's super different. It's asking a lot on the East Coast.
That's trash.
That's asking even more on that side of the country. Fuck that.
Glad Michigan got a day off this Saturday, or I would not be watching.
Oh.
Yeah.
Another podcast.
Mid card titles.
That's what I was gonna bring up. I want to make a comment about the women's mid card title, if that's possible.
What would you name it?
Ooh.
I think you gotta throw. I mean, you could throw like women's IC or women's USA title. I mean, because what can you call it? Like, you don't want to do AEW. Like, call it the like that transatlantic Harriet Tubman fucking Underground Railroad Super Continental Heavyweight Champ. Like, we don't need all that. Just keep it simple. Women's whatever mid card title is for the men, just like they did with the women's championships. And to my point, you can't introduce a new title until you make the titles you already have matter. AKA the women's tag team championship. We got to figure out what the fuck we're doing here. We brought it back. Everybody was excited. They put it on Damage Control. They had a dope ass tournament for it. Now, like y'all to backtrack in the episode. Now we back giving it to people that just are put together so they can get them on TV.
Technically, they did this twice.
Figure that out first.
They did this twice technically because they initially put it on Raquel and Aaliyah.
Yes.
So this is the second time they done pulled this bullshit.
You correct on that. So hopefully this is just a moot point because I've already forgotten until you said that about Aaliyah and Big Back Pose holding it for like a week. What other women are slated to wrestle outside of Bianca and Bayley on the Crown Jewel show?
It's just them and then the tag team. That's it. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Well,
Okay.
there's rumors that the club is recruiting a woman to be there for when Rhea's out there for their 6-man.
That's a good segue. What woman do you think that they will pick up? Because there's a couple out there.
I heard Charlotte, but I do not think that's going to happen. That doesn't make any sense to me.
She ain't a stable wrestler.
Right.
She's a lone wolf.
Right. And even if it's a one-off, it still doesn't make sense to me. Like,
No.
Beth
it's just
Phoenix.
not.
It's Beth Phoenix.
Beth Phoenix tracks because of the Edge stuff.
Has to be.
And there's
Yeah.
unfinished business. Yeah, there's unfinished business.
Yeah.
And Edge is making a movie
Edge
right
is out
now.
shooting a TV show. Is it a TV
show.
show or is it a movie? It's a movie.
I think it's
It's the new Percy Jackson movie,
yes.
right?
No, it's a show.
Yeah.
Disney
Yeah.
Plus made it a show. They made it a show.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yes, that's why I couldn't remember. It was like a movie, but it's a show. But
Mhm.
yeah, y'all right. But regardless, he ain't home right now. So Beth ain't gotta be home either.
It's got to
no
be
better
Beth
way
now,
to-
though. If it's not Beth, I'm going to be
it's gotta
disappointed.
be Beth. Yeah.
Facts. So I can
Like
see
who else are they gonna trot out there that Rhea Ripley isn't gonna manhandle?
and pin like she been pinning and fold people in half.
Right.
BA, calm
Hey,
down.
I need her to.
calm down.
I need her to put me in that type of chokehold.
See, Free get it.
It
Free
should've been me.
Right, exactly.
It should have been me.
And I'm sure if I showed my wife Rhea Ripley, she'd be like, "I get it. You can go get your pin."
And I've seen the date history, so I'm like, it's not impossible.
Right,
It's not
exactly.
impossible.
Right. Like KG said,
Oh,
man, anything's possible. Don't shit on our dreams, Dub.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna chill.
But no, man, to the mid card point though, it's a place for it, but I think they got some other work to do before we start introducing new titles and make this an AEW situation.
So how would you make the women's tag titles important? Because you don't have any women's tag teams on the main roster right now, like at all.
Well, this is where you bring up teams that I feel like are ready to come up, like a Toxic Attraction. You build tag teams in your developmental, i.e. NXT, and that's how this division becomes. I'm not saying this is going to be fixed overnight. I'm not saying
It's not a quick fix.
No, it's not, and it shouldn't. Because your point, Dub, unless we're slapping teams together, there's nobody to really put there that's a real tag team. So let's use some of this underneath talent in NXT and make them a tag team. Because I'm sure we're going to get into it here in a little bit, but Casey and Caden, that was a slap together tag team, but now they look great. I've sell it.
It works now.
Exactly. Yeah. I buy them as a tag team.
And I was actually going to kind of go with that and say, if you are going to slap a team together, let them stay together for a while. And,
What the fuck
so they
else
can
they gonna
sell
be
us
doing?
on them being a team.
Correct. Because if you ain't going after the women's title, what are you doing?
Right.
So you might as well get your girl together and become a tag team. Ride that shit out.
Boom. There it is.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the problem was they had a tag team in the Iconics and they let them go. They let Tegan Knox go. Granted, she just kept getting hurt because Tegan and Dakota, that's Team Kick right there, and that's a whole ass tag team of two people who are best friends.
Was her wizard really that shiny though?
So I remember seeing it in matches, thinking that same thing. Because to me, the Hurricane always had the best shiny wizard, and I don't know if her shining wizard was better than the Hurricane.
I just love that name.
Nah.
So, yeah, I don't know. The shiniest wizard, Lady Kane. It was Tegan Knox gets it. I hope she comes back. I really do. Speaking of comebacks, so Triple H just kind of has this thing that, like, to me, it's the one negative knock on him is that he just wants all his guys back, and he's not building all of them back. That re-debut for Emma, that crowd was so quiet. I heard myself talking in that arena through my own TV. Like,
Yeah, it was
I'm like,
bad.
and I get it. Emma was huge at NXT. Emma had a great run on the Indies when she was gone, but her main roster runs amounted to a lot of less than nothing. Build them back up. Please.
You could
please.
argue.
Same thing with Candace.
You could argue Eva Marie had more of an impactful main roster run than Emma, in all honesty.
It's not even an argument. She absolutely did because she got over. she got over and she made people hate her and made people love Doudrop. I really hope they give her Piper Niven her name back.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he did the same thing with Candace. Even the Johnny reintroduction. Do that somewhere where an NXT crowd has been. Like, do that somewhere you've had a takeover. Do it next time you come to Orlando. Fuck, do it in Cleveland.
Like, I was just here. Like
that was so shocking. I think that's what made it so shocking. I'm like, he came back in Toronto, and I know Toronto's a big WWE market. Like it traditionally is, but still, to your point, it felt really random.
They hadn't been there in like so many
it felt
years.
really random.
Takeover hadn't been there in a long time, and he had been gone. So, and you got to remember how many kids are in the audience. Like kids 5 to 9, they were between 1 and like about 4 years old last time Johnny was there.
And to be honest, Johnny Wrestling is like the darling of like a lot of neckbeards. So I don't think he was really marketed to kids like that.
Nah.
Exactly. Like he's an us guy. Like us diehards who was watching NXT, watched him come in as a guy that would bring in week to week and just become arguably the greatest NXT superstar of all time. But you got to bring him back somewhere that matters to that NXT core market, and they know what their core markets are. They have metrics out of this world.
I think that's just
that's just my one drawback on Trips,
and that's gonna be. And I'll give Trips this. Trips, he's not like Vince, where he's just gonna put his head down and plow through whatever without caring what's destroyed in the process because he wants to do what he wants to do. Trips will learn from his mistakes. Trips will listen to other people. And the number one thing is Trips is here to do business, period. So if he realizes like, okay, maybe bringing all my boys back and girls back ain't the best thing for business because now these people are coming back. I can't pour into them as much as I can anymore. And he'll figure it out from there. I think that what Trips, and this may be a little controversial, we expect too much of his reign because it was so good. It was so different when he took over from what we was used to seeing. And when you eat shit for so long and you finally see something that's not shit, you get excited.
Ooh, this can of tuna is delicious.
Exactly. Beats the hell out of that poop sandwich I've been eating for the last 25 years since the Attitude Era ended. So that's why I think that we just expect this shit to just keep going. Trips can't miss. He's human at the end of the day, and he's still trying to figure this shit out.
He's had some misses.
Yeah, and you gotta.
But I'm all for him bringing everybody back, but do it in a way that like makes sense for each person.
Right, find a role.
Like the Dexter Lumis return, that was done brilliantly.
Yes.
The Bray Wyatt stuff, BA, I know you hate it, but it was done brilliantly. Even flipping Max Dupree back to LA Knight was done brilliantly.
Yeah.
You get to see him getting fed up, and then and now our guy's back.
But in a funny way,
to do it.
You could compare Triple H to Tony Khan in that way. Like I'm bringing guys, I like bringing these guys back because I personally like them and I personally am invested in them. But you're not always taking into account how the crowd's going to respond to them and if it fits in a story,
that's a good take.
In a storyline type of way. So I think they're very comparable in that. But yeah, I think to your point, I think Triple H, I think he'll be quick to pull the hook if it's not working.
Yeah, he's afraid. He's not afraid to admit his faults and try to make something work. Just to say like, this is what I want to do, so it's happening because I'm me. That's the Vince way. But yeah, completely agree with that. Tony Khan take that's interesting.
Yeah, but the Tony Khan thing, like he brings guys in, but then like expects you to know about them because you watched 35 years of Ring of Honor. You watched Wrestle Kingdom 7. When they brought Shibata in, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Why is Excalibur losing his mind?
I was about to say, you don't have to ever worry about who's who because Excalibur is going to tell you very, very fast. So don't you worry.
Literally and figuratively, that man speaks 1 million words a minute.
It's ridiculous.
Like at least when Trips is bringing guys in, it's guys that we know because we watch them do this. Like they're going to start bringing like new indie talent back in. But Trips is going to introduce them to this audience, not just put them right in front of you like, hey, you should know who this is. The only person they've ever done that with is AJ Styles, arguably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. even Shinsuke Nakamura, when they brought him in, it was a slow build. They gave him an introduction over at Titantron. He had his first match with Sammy, and they built him up because even though probably the greatest Japanese wrestler of all time, we didn't know who the fuck he was. I had no clue who Shinsuke Nakamura was outside of a guy that Brock Lesnar beat once in Japan.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Smiles, a.k.a. Hip Hop Adam Schefter, a.k.a. LaJosh James, a.k.a. for all the ladies, the Chocolate Sauce Bandit. You already know what it is. Tune into Inaudibro Ruckus every week. And don't forget to check out my 2 shows at Shot vs. Smiles and Music Impulse on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, whatever. Tune in. It's your boy Smiles, and I'm out.
That's all I knew about him. So, like, that's my thing with Tony's. He brings people in expecting you to have read 35 books of Game of Thrones backstory on them already and just be excited because they're there. Like, if I could sit Tony down, I would look him dead in the eyes like, not everybody's Will Ospreay. Not everybody is Jay White in the Bullet Club. You got to remember, you're trying to reach a larger audience here. I know the neck beards are going to be your bread and butter for a long time, but to get where you want to get to and to keep, HBO Discovery coming back to you, giving you money, you're going to need to reach some other people. And the first step is to convince them to take the Big Bang off as your lead-in show. The second step is to do some of the opposite things of what the fuck you've been doing.
That ain't happening, Dub, because Big Bang is the OG cash cow.
Which part?
The Big Bang not leading off to that.
And I'm getting really weary about TNT, about WB Discovery. You'll move Dynamite when it's hockey, but you gonna have it go directly up against the NBA premiere?
That's dumb as hell.
My Kofi is on for that.
Yeah.
My Kofi is on for that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I don't know what you thought.
Dr. Umar Free over here. Can't get out the diaster.
You like, wait, you thought they was going to do ratings against this?
Right.
Buddy.
But
I feel like inside the NBA would outrate AEW if they went head to head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Because people that don't even watch basketball just like to watch them dudes shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Like, older people love them
100%.
four dudes. Yes. And they will take that any day over a bunch of Steves wrestling and doing Bret Hart tribute matches. I can tell you that much.
That Bret Hart tribute match pisses off BA.
I love Bret.
I love Bret too, man. Shit, man. I'm
making fun of him
guy.
because it got kind of pathetic towards the end. I'm glad they kind of moved away from that, especially for Bret to not come to AEW to re-up with WWE. You did all that, and he re-upped.
They did so much.
Even had the man. Like, didn't he unveil the title when they first?
Yeah, he unveiled the
title.
They did the whole Owen Hart tribute thing, which literally led to nothing.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about that whole Owen Hart tribute tournament.
All it did was make people hate Britt Baker even more.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should have been Riho. Or not Riho, Ruby.
Yep.
I was like, wait, what? I'm like,
not Riho.
Never have heard anybody like cheer for
I know
Riho.
she waiting by the phone.
Yeah,
she waiting by the phone for that Triple H call.
You know she is.
She might have already got it, man. She letting that nose heal up.
She about to punch Britt in the face so she can get fired. That as soon as she heal up.
Somebody need to.
Is that what Andrade's trying to do too? Just trying to get fired?
I literally feel like that's what he's doing.
We ain't heard from Andrade since that whole Sammy thing, since he smacked the shit out of Sammy. He's been radio silent.
Because nobody's questioning it because it's Sammy. Like, Sammy, everyone wants to slap Sammy.
Yeah. That's the most slappable
Well, Andrade
face
told
in
him,
wrestling.
you're going to fuck around and find out. And then Sammy fucked around and he found out.
Hardest way.
I became an even bigger Andrade fan that day. I said, oh, Andrade keeps that same energy? Love it. Love it.
Hey, man, that man's livelihood is at stake. He got all that energy right now, man. He is not happy.
He said, hey, you can't talk shit about me on the internet without getting slapped in the face? Love it.
I can't wait till
I understand.
These dudes
understand
NDAs
that man so
run
much.
out.
I don't know no Spanish.
I can't wait till these dudes NDAs run out and they can really talk about the sell pitches they was getting from Tony and then what happened when they actually got there. When did they realize that this is more bullshit than where they originally came from? I got to know all those things.
Those podcast runs are going to be fun.
Oh, my God, dude.
Because AEW was laughing it up when they were going there and talk shit on WWE. When it's the other way around now, woo.
Oh, yeah.
Because you saw a hint of it when Punk had his little interview before the scrum. No, the scrum after the scrum. He was like, I'm hurt, I'm old, I'm tired, and I work for fucking children. I'm like, you said that next to your boss? Fuck.
Eating a muffin.
Yep. And drinking a Spindrift.
Eating a muffin. Oh, yeah, he was killing that Spindrift.
Yes, he was.
Shout out to Punk and the Spindrifts, man.
Yes. Great choice.
I loved it.
Great non-alcoholic beverage choice. You're going to not drink. That's a good drink. But, but yes.
How do we get to shitting on AEW?
I was going to say, look at us not talking about AEW.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to talk about it. And I'm a fan. That's the funny thing.
Shit is like a lightning rod.
It was just so bad last night, and I get frustrated. I think the thing is, like, because they went out when WWE was doing all their cuss and they grabbed a lot of my favorite guys, I want them to be better.
Yes. Yeah.
I like if it was just like Moxley, Jericho, Hager fucking up every week, I wouldn't care that much. But once you went out and got Joe and Andrade, and you got the Lucha Bros, you got Adam Cole over there. All right, now you have my attention. Do better. I don't know.
They single-handedly killed the Undisputed Era. Think about that. That company destroyed that whole. I don't think they could ever come back together. Any of them. That's because Bobby Fish just.
I was about to say Bobby Fish got a lot to do with that too. Yeah, Bobby Fish got a lot to do with that too. Though.
Bobby Fish pulled a Scooby-Doo and ripped off the mask like it was Bobby Fish the whole time, but I would have got away with it if it wasn't for those goddamn social media posts. No,
right? You think niggas are checking for you? For you?
Right? Bobby Fish is trying to put himself over so hard, dude. When that whole thing happened, but that's like,
damn, Bobby, you wouldn't have got over like this 30 years ago when you were 30.
Try to get into WrestleMania 3 and shit. Like, come on, man.
You know it's bad when
I bring that
audiences. When Impact audiences are clowning you, you know you down bad.
Oh, yes, exactly. Right. That's like Skechers turning down Kanye, man. It's the same type of shit. Like,
wow.
Kanye keep coming up on this show, man. He has nothing to do with wrestling.
Can we talk about how BA just called Impact Skechers?
I mean, I don't think he's wrong.
I mean,
they don't even get a Reebok, a Puma. They get Skechers.
I mean, like God, I'm not about to start bashing on another wrestling company because they didn't do nothing to deserve it. AEW pisses me off. To y'all point while I brought up the Undisputed Era, they have so many toys to play with that are dope toys, and they just don't know what to do with them, and they just end up botching the shit, man. That's what kills me about that company. They could put on
last time you saw Miro
bangers.
on TV.
I haven't seen Miro in like months.
They overbook everything.
Moxley, it's too much talent.
Moxley and MJF was fine. The build was fine how it is. But now you want to bring the Firm into it and then have them both turn. And you know MJF doesn't want to be a face. Even if the crowd started cheering, he doesn't want to be a face. But you're going to try and force it on him. And it's getting to the point where that main event might flop no matter what happens. Because you overbooked him. I think you're right, Free.
Because all our worst fears are happening. Like, every week he becomes more and more of a face. They do more and more face stuff to make people feel bad for him. Like, I'm just like, nah, dog. You about to ruin your best chip. Like,
I don't even think he's capable of wrestling a face style at this point.
Is it weird that I kind of want to watch? I want to watch it more now that Freeze told me it's probably going to flop, and I'm more interested to see that than I am the actual like main event itself.
Well, you just want to see a car crash. That's all it is.
I was going to say that's the car crash mentality. Yep. You just want to see it, see what it looked like, and move on to the next thing.
What did Alfred say? I just want to watch the world burn.
Oh, that's Joker.
I hope those rumors of MJF already.
No, Alfred said it about Joker.
Yes.
I hope those rumors of MJF signing an extension aren't true because it's going to get real.
I don't think he really did. I don't think he really did. I think he got a couple more dollars in his pocket, but I don't think he's a smart dude at the end of the day. And he knows the bargaining chip he holds by keep on like talking this 2024 shit.
MJF knows that he can walk out of that door in 2024 and be main eventing WrestleMania within 2 years against Bron Breakker.
Man, how fuck will we be?
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong at all.
He's literally the only AEW like original that's definitely more of a WWE style. Like literally the only one.
Facts. Yes, Free. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring up Bron, 'cause I already told E-Ray this. Like, I'm a Bron guy. I know he gets a lot of hate on here, but I am a Bron Breakker fan. And I know he's not the most technically gifted, but the guy, I don't know, he just got the look. He embraces his lineage. He kind of understands what WWE wants out of its wrestlers, especially when
This makes me so happy.
We finally got. I was about to say we finally
You
got
guys needed
some
balance.
contrast.
You needed balance.
we got some pushback. So, Free, let me ask you
Yes.
this, because on NXT Wednesday, they ended the tag title match. Obviously, Pretty Deadly retained because there was no way they were putting all of those belts on those two guys. And then Von Wagner comes out, makes his presence known, and just hits Breakker with a big boot. How do you feel about Von Wagner versus Bron Breakker, or would you rather see someone else challenge Mr. Breakker for the NXT title at Deadline?
And see, this is the drawback to being a fan of big meaty men slapping meat, because there's only a handful of men that can slap meat, because the other meaty men are awful. For every Undertaker, there's a great Khali. You feel me?
Yes,
So,
or an almost. Yes.
yes. For every Braun Strowman, there's an almost, and that's giving Braun Strowman too much credit, honestly.
Yes. So true.
Because honestly, you know who I was in on when they were running with him for a little bit? I was in on Ryback. When they were first doing the Feed Me More, and he was running through people, and he was
over.
Yeah,
He was 100%
I was in
over.
on it. I was in on it, and then it all fell
The
apart.
moment he said Ryback rules, I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
No, when they put
guys.
him, when he was like vibrating and breathing all hard, looking at CM Punk, I'm like, I think I'm off this guy. I think I'm done. I think I'm done.
He killed his own own momentum. 100%.
But
And then they sacrificed him to John Cena, and it was over.
like I always appreciate the guys that have the work rate, but it's just something about a dude that got power moves and that power move skill set. Like, I want to watch that guy.
I can't be mad at
like,
that way of thinking about things.
we don't like necessarily hate Bron, but I'm just one of those guys. I think he needed more time in the lab before they catapulted him to this.
I'm with you.
I didn't
I'm
like
with you.
to hot shot him because like when you put him up against like more seasoned guys, you're like, no, that guy should be your champion. Like, to me, putting him in a match with Santos was the worst thing they could have ever done for him, because I was like, oh, Santos is that guy.
Yes.
And it was clear to me by far. And then they put him in the match with Melo, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, Melo's that guy. Like, that was my problem with him. Like, I know for a fact that he's not going to lose that belt until he gets called up. And then from there, it's just 5 WrestleMania straight.
Right, because the reason they're keeping the belt on him is because I think they agree with you. He's not ready. So they're trying to kind of have a kick and eat it too. We want this guy to be an attraction, but we know he's not ready. So let's keep him down here. Let's keep him champion. And let's let him get experience through these high-profile matches with guys that have a better work rate than him, but he can learn something from them too. Because I know people love JD McDonough. I just see him, I'm like, he's a pale dude with a big-ass head. But these last couple of matches he had with Braun Strowman, he kind of earned some respect from me, because I saw him and I looked at him like Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, and I know, people love those guys. I don't see it with Kyle O'Reilly. That's just me. I see it in a tag team with Undisputed Era, but him by himself, I am not trying to watch that man wrestle. I'm sorry.
It's hard to buy. I agree with that.
Right.
The stuff he was doing in AEW.
Yeah, Red Dragon's one of the best tag teams I've ever watched, but those guys by themselves, I was like, this ain't doing it for me. I don't know. And Undisputed Era is one of my all-time favorite things.
Yes,
definitely a top stable of all time. But someone like Dragunov, I thought he was actually going to win that triple threat.
I did too.
Yeah, I thought he was going to win. And I would have been
your
cool with
NXT
that.
champion.
Right.
He's the worker, man.
There's something about Dragunov, man. Like, he just has like this reckless abandon, but he doesn't have like the cruiser style. So he's doing it like a kamikaze pilot.
Literally, his finisher is he dives at you head first.
So you know who he is? He's a modern day Randy Savage. I'm talking like Macho Man from the 80s, not the 90s and Wolfpack and all that shit.
The technician Macho Man.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. From the 80s. IC Champ Macho Man. That's who I think Dragunov is, just with a more modern take. But even more so, like Macho Man, dude don't get his respect, just like Mach didn't. But that was for other reasons, brother. But
The man literally died. The man literally died in the ring with Walter. They literally died together in that match. I swear they took years off their lives in that match. I ain't never seen Chester look so
like
red.
that.
yes, bro.
Like I don't cringe a lot watching wrestling, but that match got to the end when I was cringing. I'm like, yo, all right, come on, guys, come on, stop slapping each other,
Right,
please.
man.
But I'm gonna spin it back to kind of answer your question. Von Wagner, no, he is terrible. He is.
Thank you.
awful.
I was about to say, Free.
I thought
so
when they were
please
doing NXT cuts, I was 90% sure he was one of the cuts.
Too big.
I'd rather see the dude they did cut, the Bodie. I'd rather see Bodie fight Von
believe
Wagner
they cut
than rather see Bodie fight Bron than Von Wagner. He's awful. Even though he had my favorite spot in the ladder match when he damn near killed Wesley, that was dope. But
When he threw him into the parking lot.
but he also almost killed a fan too, not knowing.
I was about to say, you talking about that poor black lady that had to like do a limbo to not get hit in the face?
So Von giveth, Von taketh away.
Von giveth and Von taketh.
But the
Man,
answer,
Free, you said a lot to unpack there, man. I don't think we've ever had a pro Bron Breakker take on this show, even though we don't hate the guy. Like, to Dub's point, he's just had this nepotism push when Vince was there.
He has.
I think if Trips was in the building, that wouldn't have happened in the fashion in which it did. They probably would have let Ciampa kind of lead that along a little more, than they just immediately ripped it off of him.
It was weird.
Yeah, but I get your attraction to big meaty men bumping meaty whatevers and all that shit. I get it. That's what pro wrestling is at the end of the day. That's the nucleus and foundation of this shit.
Physiques
It's
matter.
big dudes doing
They
shit
do.
they shouldn't be doing.
They do.
But like I feel like you said, he's there to work with guys to have a better work rate than him. Explain this Von Wagner match to me, because I'm like, is he ready to finally
I'm
lead a match?
100% with you guys. I don't know if Shawn Michaels was just like, Von maybe reminds me of Diesel a little bit. I don't know what it is, but maybe that eye needs to straighten out a little bit to see it right. But because my answer, I feel like, and I think you guys talked about this before, I feel like it's Melo's time. I feel like the next dude in line should have been Carmelo.
I think he's going up though.
To talk about, probably,
I think Melo's going up, unfortunately.
The thing that's funny about Carmelo, though, he's one of those wrestlers that's so dope, but has an awful finisher. I hate his finisher. I can't stand it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hate it so much.
It's not the best.
I hate it.
Why the black
so
man
much.
always got to get the axe kick? I don't care if it's off the top rope. It's still an axe kick. Like, come on.
Right, man.
I hate it so much. And there's so many things that guy can do in the ring. I'm like, come on, we got to come up with something else, guys.
I don't care. They just give him a splash.
John Cena was doing that move.
A splash would be dope. I would rather see him just do a splash than do that top rope axe kick.
Right.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
I mean, well, shit. Shawn Michaels didn't have a super kick out the gate.
That's
he
true.
was doing some back body drop or something at his fucking finisher when he started coming into his own. So maybe they'll let him do some cool shit in the main roster. Who knows? But yeah, his finisher is mid at best for sure.
BA, who would you rather see Bron Breakker defending his title against at Deadline?
Bret Michaels. No, I don't know, man. Let's see.
Rock of Love action?
Exactly. Where's E-Ray at? Serious answer to that question. I think Apollo will make more sense because of he's a worker in comparison to Von. Way more of a worker.
Ilya Dragunov in a singles match?
Nah, we've seen it. Even though it's a triple threat. I would say honestly, as I think about what's happening in NXT, I don't know if he's ready for it, but I would like to see a Grayson Waller feud. That's what I'm here for. I would love to see. Because that's your heel that's going to make him matter. That's going to make Bron matter.
Grayson Waller is the Miz 2.0.
Thank you, BA.
That's not a bad thing.
I see
I
it.
think I predicted it on this pod a few episodes ago that I think Grayson Waller is going to be the guy to take that belt off of Bron Breakker, since I think they're calling up Melo. Because no one else on this roster is over the way Grayson is. No one. And he's over in a way that it works, and he has this work rate that he can work the chicken shit heel style. But if you trap him in there the way there's like, Bron's going to just trap him in the center of the ring and make him work, Grayson Waller can work.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Smiles, a.k.a. Hip Hop Adam Schefter, a.k.a. LaJosh James, a.k.a. for all the ladies, the Chocolate Sauce Bandit. You already know what it is. Tune into Inaudibro Ruckus every week. And don't forget to check out my 2 shows at Shot vs. Smiles and Music Impulse on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, whatever. Tune in. It's your boy Smiles, and I'm out.
He can go at a very high level.
Hey, man.
And truthfully, I would what I would do is I wouldn't have Grayson win it clean. I would have some interference happen.
Oh, absolutely.
To keep him over. And I would have the interference happen with someone who, like, whoever's gonna like be the guy to give Bron his send-off match. Whether it be truthfully, it could be Von Wagner. Von Wagner's going to be there for a lot longer. If Von Wagner's the one to cost him the title,
ain't never touching the main roster.
Not align himself with Grayson Waller.
Wrestler for NXT.
But that's the thing. Like, if you want to establish Von Wagner as a main event talent, you have him cost Bron the title, and then him be the guy to beat Bron clean in the middle of that ring to send Bron packing.
But we got to see more out of Von for that to be sold to us as viewers.
That's not. I can't believe that right now. That's not believable to me right now.
Correct. Yeah, we got to see some matches out of Von Wagner to sell that.
But
something. Shit.
I am with Grayson Waller. We need more dastardly heels. We need more heels cheating to win. So
I agree.
Yeah,
that's how you get over baby faces.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I don't think we hate Bron as much if we have him going against real life shit heels. I think the biggest shit heel he's going against is Joe Gacy. Like, as far as like somebody that was doing the most fucked up shit to him.
And I think people hate Joe Gacy more than they hate Bron Breakker. So people wanted Bron to win.
Yes, I think you're right on that. Nobody was buying Joe Gacy beating him just because of just the stature of their bodies and stuff like that. Like, people hate Joe Gacy.
And the funny thing is, I liked his initial NXT 2.0 gimmick. I get why they pivoted, because they didn't want to be in the news because that whole safe space, annoying progressive, even though it probably would get him over in Florida where NXT is. Yeah. They were just one MSNBC article away from getting attention they didn't want.
That's a very good take.
But the initial idea was a great idea.
It was amazing. It was hilarious.
I was like, oh, this is good. But then I think I said on this pod, I said, but I don't think they're ready for the type of attention they're gonna get if they do this right. So they pivoted, but then I think they're pivot again, bringing in Ava Raine. Like, I watched that interview on Wednesday. I was like, I kind of like where they're going back to.
And is it just me? Or is she already good on the mic?
Oh, she's great on the mic.
She's great. I was like, yo, she's like years behind.
And her mannerisms, the way, like, I can see the crazy in her eye. Like, she's selling it well. She's committed. Yeah. She's committed.
Oh, she's money. I mean, granted, we know who her father is. Arguably the greatest mic man to ever pick up a microphone.
Correct.
But damn, she's
right.
good.
But it's not always assumed that it's going to be handed down. You know, for every Ted DiBiase, there's Ted DiBiase Jr.
Man, shame to the DiBiase name that Ted Jr. is.
For every Kurt Hennig, there's a Curtis Axel. So,
oh man.
And the thing about, like, when she was speaking in like this promo, they actually felt like they knew each other, like they were actually friends. I'm like, this feels like an actual stable. This doesn't feel like a storyline that was pitched to people. Like, if you told me, like, yeah, Joe and Jagger and Ava hang out on the weekends and go-kart, and I'd be like, oh, that checks out.
And then Mike, she's been there long enough, you know.
She's been there like 5 years.
Yeah, sitting in the back watching. And I was going to say, do y'all think the schism is going more towards like a direction of Oh, the thought just left my mind. Damn. I was gonna say, leave me, go past me, because I was gonna say the schism reminds me of something I've seen before.
Reminds you of a girl you used to know?
No.
Okay. All right, Usher.
Not at all.
I think if they can find that
there.
happy medium where it's not supernatural, but it's just creepy enough to make you uncomfortable, I think they have something.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Like,
that's what I was
it can't
gonna
be
say.
supernatural, but it can't be creep. It can be creepy. But go ahead, BA.
I think they're going more like straight edge society with this.
I can
the
see
vibes.
that. I can see that.
Yeah. It's not
It's like somewhere in the middle of like straight edge society
Yes.
and what the original gimmick
Yes.
was.
correct. Yes.
Yeah.
They leaning into that whole like you want to be happy, you want to love trees and all that shit. Come hang out with the schism. We
Right.
appreciate the environment and we're
Outsiders
happy
are
people.
welcome. If you've been shunned by everywhere else in society, you won't be shunned here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but no,
But the original gimmick was so good.
It was.
Hey,
It
man.
was so fucking good.
they just better
I
be
like-
lucky they
man.
got rid of it before America became obsessed with serial killers again because of Jeffrey Dahmer. So yes.
Oh yeah, that would have been another thing. Yeah, that would have been another thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Like you was right on that. Like they pivoted at the perfect time because everybody's eyes went on these like super duper, like real life bio shows, bio documentaries that came out on these serial killers. They would have just been like, well, what
But
the hell is the schism?
I was speaking more to the people that would look at that and be like, "Oh, you're making fun of me because I'm progressive and I'm I still got the Obama sticker on I got the Bernie sticker. I'm a Bernie bro. I got the Bernie sticker on the back of my car. Again.
I see what you're saying.
I drive a Prius. I donate to Black Lives Matter. All that stuff. Those
Right,
people would have
I
been
got
pissed when they found out about that.
Yeah, you want to get
Yep,
canceled.
Right.
And then the Republicans were like, see how ridiculous this is? See, it's on wrestling. See how ridiculous this is? Like, yeah. No, they pivoted at the right time. But, all right, that's enough NXT for right now, guys. Because we got some blood money to talk about. Vince and Trips and the WWE stockholders are getting their 45th installment of Saudi blood money this Saturday. Guys, we got some matches on the card. Let's do some picks.
Let's do it.
Are we ready? Let's start off with the match that none of us are looking forward to. Women's tag team match. Asuka and Bliss versus Damage Control. Who we picking, guys? Free, I will start
I'm
with
with
you.
BA. I think Damage Control is getting it back, which just makes Monday make less sense than it already does. But I'll say why as we go through the card. 'Cause there's another match that makes me think they're gonna win.
Okay. BA.
Damage Control. Because why the fuck do Asuka and Alexa Bliss need them belts? I hope that they win.
Okay.
So yes, that's who I think.
You're both wrong. I'm kidding. No, it's Damage Control all the way.
It's gotta be.
All right, here we go.
And they're gonna do it in a cheating
Next-
way. Sorry.
Next up, the undisputed tag team titles. The Usos versus the Brawling Brutes. Apparently, Jay and Jimmy can travel to Saudi even though Jimmy got like 5 DUIs. Who we picking here?
They got a hell of a lawyer, I'm sure.
Man, I'm going with the Usos. I think
They got an advocate. They got an advocate and a wise man.
I
Come on
think
now.
there'll be some slight shenanigans because of Sami Zayn, but the Usos will be able to overcome it and win.
Oh, you think Sammy's showing
Oh,
up?
I didn't think. Yeah, he is not going to be there. I completely
Yeah,
forgot.
Sammy
I
don't,
completely forgot
Sammy don't
about
fuck
that.
with the
Yeah.
blood money
That's
show.
why we ain't
Sammy's
seen
with-
Kevin Owens. That's why we ain't seen Kevin Owens the last 2-3 weeks. They kind
I
of had
could-
to let him kind of fade in the back while they got this show built
That
going.
completely left my mind. Yeah, he ain't going to be there. So it'll just be a straight up match. So
Okay.
the Usos just win clean.
Okay, all right.
Agreed.
So next up, we got Club versus Judgment Day. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got Usos retaining too. I don't think they're losing.
Same.
themselves
I
for
said it
forever.
low. I said it low, but I agree with Free. They gonna win.
Yeah.
I think it's
For
all
forever.
Usos across the board.
Yeah. All right, OC versus the Judgment Day.
Mm,
BA, let me start with you.
I'm gonna pick the OC because the whoever the female person is that's gonna be with them is gonna help them win, and then we gonna get our blow off at Survivor Series.
Okay. BA, what are you thinking?
Free.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry. Free. Yeah, free.
I agree. Even though I want to see the Judgment Day win, I'm actually very invested in the Judgment Day. I feel like they need to win as much as
Really?
possible to be built up as like a big, obnoxious heel
I
group.
agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
But I think, yeah, depending on who the club brings in, if it's who we think, then they'll probably go over.
So I'm picking the Judgment Day to win because of Rhea Ripley, and I think you get the Beth Phoenix run in after the match.
Okay.
And then
That would be ideal, actually.
That's how they set up War Games, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Rhea does her thing. She power slams Luke Gallows again because that's going to pop that Saudi crowd. And they definitely want to, like, focus on, like, hey, we're doing more for women over here. We're letting women be seen doing things.
My only
Risking
question with
these
that is,
women's
would
lives.
that pop the crowd? I think maybe the younger folks in the crowd, they're still they got to come covered, you know?
Yeah,
So I think that's
what I mean.
still-
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. But that's the next step. Like, you have one women's match, then you have a couple more women's matches. Next up is to have a woman slam a guy.
I do want to see Rhea make it
I do.
home. I do want to see her make it home.
That'd be sad, bro.
Same.
Sad.
So I'm going Judgment Day there. Next up is we got big meaty men bumping meat. Braun Strowman versus Omos.
Now, this is a poor example of my theory. That's why it's hard to like the big muscly physique guys, because sometimes you get matches like this. This match is not going to be
I
good.
think Omos is like way better than he was at Mania.
He is,
I
but
agree.
way better, still not good. I still don't think he's there yet.
Still not good?
Still not there yet.
Nah. Now when you put him in the ring with a guy like Braun Strowman, who's just now kind of getting his footing around how his wrestling style should look. So yeah, I agree with that.
So are you guys both picking Braun here?
Yeah, but I have a feeling that the feud isn't finished because I don't think he's gonna win clean. It might be like a count out or.
I think that MVP gonna interfere and hit Braun over the head with the cane, and it's gonna be a disqualification.
Yeah, it's a blow. It's gonna continue, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm going Braun here as well. I don't see any reason for Braun to lose right now, but I do see reason for them to keep this going, and then for them to possibly turn them into a tag team. That would be fun. We haven't had a giant tag team in a long time.
I could see it.
That would be crazy.
Question about Braun. Do you think they looked over seeing what Wardlow was doing and then they told Braun to start using the powerbomb?
Yes, 1,000%. 1,000%. Yes. Yep. Because I think they're sending a message to Wardlow like, hey, you sick of your executive producer all in the video, dancing around.
Wanna
Come to
Death
WWE.
Row.
I think that's what they're doing. I don't have proof of it, but I think that's what they're doing.
You sick of the owner
They're
of your company
telling
coming out
Wardlow-
and talking at the end of your shows? You never see Triple H
Exactly.
unless I'm in storyline, because I'm Triple H.
They're telling Wardlow, hey man, you can do one moonsault a year versus the 12 you got to do to keep up with those guys in AEW.
Yeah.
Come over to Death Row and just have crazy strongman matches against Bron Breakker at WrestleMania for 12 years.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we got, which I don't know if it's going to be the blow-off match of this feud or if this is just going to be a blood feud that goes on forever. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a steel cage match. As we all know, cage matches are usually the blow-off to end to a feud, but I don't see how this ends, considering that Kross, has just targeted Drew as like, you're not the chosen one. And then Drew is just losing his mind. He's like, because I need to kill you, essentially, to get back to the title picture. Free, let me start with you. Who wins this match?
I actually think Drew is going to win. I think he's going to win because I think they're realizing, like, this guy, we've screwed this guy over a couple times now. We didn't let him win in his home country. Well, not his home country, like home area. We didn't give him the big pop at WrestleMania when we finally got fans back. And he's done nothing but be loyal to us and represent us well. We got to start doing something with him. As much as I like what they're doing with Karrion now, and he's got some really good momentum, I don't think a loss will hurt him. And what I could do, and you could be right, but I think the blow-off is maybe like having a street fight on SmackDown or something, instead of having it build even more to like a Rumble or something like that, or Survivor Series. So there could be a blow-off, but it'll be like one of those blow-offs where it's like on a SmackDown in a big city.
Miracle on 34th Street
Yeah, like a
fight?
SmackDown in a big city. We're gonna have this street fight in New York or whatever. Aren't they hitting Madison Square Garden soon?
I think you're right.
Day after Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I go Drew.
Okay. Next question. B, I'm gonna get to you in a minute. Next question. How does Drew win? Does Drew escape the cage, or does Drew pin Cross 1, 2, 3?
I think he pins him, but I hate cage matches where you have to pin them to win. I feel like the cage match, the only way you should win is to escape. Like I'm kind of old school like that. I hate that you have to, because why even have a cage if you can pin them?
I can tell Free watched old school early 90s WCW growing up. With that being said, with that mindset.
BA, who are you picking to win this month?
As much as I want to be a contrarian, I can't really pick against Drew because like he's primed for something else after this, and so is Karrion Kross. Like this is the only thing Karrion Kross has done since he's been back for a few months now is just go after Drew during that Roman promo. So I feel like these dudes, whoever comes out of this, is gonna be back in the fold with Roman and all that stuff when Roman decides to want to show up for SmackDowns and stuff like that. So yeah, I gotta pick Drew, man. I think that he's gonna get the pin. I don't see a big ass Drew McIntyre climbing out of that cage. So
that's true too. That's true.
Yeah, that's gonna look weird. So I could see him just Claymore kicking him and pinning him.
All right, so hear me out here. I haven't booked a territory in a while for this whole show, actually. I'm going to book this territory out. Drew McIntyre wins this because Cross knocks him out of the cage. And then Drew McIntyre is laying on that ground. He's won the match, but Cross is the one standing tall. Continues to beat on Drew, and then you get that. Cross leaves, Drew wins. And then you're able to elevate Cross to possibly start looking towards Roman. Like, yeah, I'm coming for you now. And then Drew's kind of down on himself. Like, yeah, I won the match, but I got to beat this guy. But I got to get better. And then he comes across one Ludwig Kaiser and Fabian Eichner telling him he needs to get his shit together. And then he's like, I'm going to take both of you guys out. And then walks in one Walter. And this is how you get Walter Drew for that IC title somewhere around, we'll say, Rumble. And Drew gets his moment in front of a huge crowd, winning that title at the Rumble, and he holds it for a while. And then again, that frees Gunther to just be a monster for a while. Challenge Roman. It frees him up to be a guy that challenges Cody when Cody gets that belt at Mania. That's how I would book this out. If they would just let me book the territory. What do you guys think of that?
I fucking love that. And
oh yeah,
IC title elevated. You can have your Ivan Drago versus Rocky fight with Gunther versus Cody Rhodes.
Shit!
I fucking love it.
Yep. Boom.
I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
And then Drew holding the IC title, we can get Sheamus Drew 7.
I'd be mad at that. Yeah. I don't need to see that.
but it's something like they can always go back to. They can always go back to that match. And then to me, like the IC title is at its coolest currently when it's not like guys who are like American like born wrestlers like going after it. I like the idea of Ray going after Gunther. Ray versus Drew sounds like an interesting match. Shinsuke versus Drew. You know what I mean? Like you bring up all those kids from NXT UK, literally all of them, and let them all challenge Drew. I don't care. Like there's so many things you can do with the IC title, you know, not that you have it on like foreign guys because they have so much foreign talent out there that they've brought in.
And there's always that nationalism in wrestling that'll make fans want to see an American wrestler take that title back.
Yep, that too. That's a perfect way. Like if you want to bring somebody up, or you can turn Drew heel with that title, and you know you got your nice little nationalism pop, dude. I don't know, do it around SummerSlam or something. Well, no, SummerSlam's in Toronto, so you couldn't do that. But anyways, next up, we got more big meaty men bumping meat. We got Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley 2. I'm going to start off this one.
Here for this match.
I'm going Brock Lesnar. Since Bobby won the first one, I think Brock is going to win the second one. I think the third one happens at Mania because I think this is going to be a trilogy. And I think Bobby's definitely going to win that third one at Mania because it's time to put the sunset on Brock's career. It's time. It's time.
Everyone keeps saying it's part 2, but isn't this technically part 3? Didn't they wrestle a Survivor Series a few years ago? Like a title versus title?
No, they've never wrestled before that that match at Rumble.
The Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What up, though? It's your boy Big Low Gross, and I'm letting y'all know, man, y'all listening to the Inaudibro, man. That's right. Sometime a while back, man, we converted the show from just a podcast, man, to the Inaudibro. So we got like 5 shows, you know what I'm saying? We got Music Impulse with Smiles. We got Let Me Book the Territory with E-Ray. We got Binge Flicks and Chill with E-Ray. We got the regular show, Inaudibro Ruckus, that you're probably listening to now. And then we got the Skeeters podcast. And then we got some other shows that we're working on, man. So keep rocking with us, man, and welcome to your experience inside of the Inaudiverse, motherfucker.
And it's funny that they're just now kind of getting to this because this is the match that they pitched to Bobby Lashley to get him to come back. And it took 3 years to get there.
Because, Brock's got to respect you to want to do work with you. So I feel like he didn't respect Lashley at first.
It's a better question of did he know? Like, I don't know if Brock's a guy that watches TV. I can almost guarantee you he doesn't watch the product at all. Because when they had him in the Rumble, come in at 1, everybody that came out, he's like, who are you? The look on his face when he saw Keith Lee, you're like, oh, he doesn't watch this product at all. Yeah.
I mean, he don't watch, but he loves taking titles off of black men, so I don't know.
Oh, man. You already know, Free.
So I don't know.
You already know.
He might have knew it was like, I need you to have something I want from you first.
Dub, I gotta bring up your comment, man. You talking about Brock Lesnar like he was like a wrestler from like the OG era of the 80s and 90s and stuff, man. What is he in his 40s? Mid-40s?
Brock might be 45.
Yeah, I think he's 45.
Okay. So, I guess you're right, Dub, in the wrestling sense. And Brock Lesnar's been very adamant about, like, not wanting to do this type of shit forever. So, I guess I could see him start to tail it back. But I feel like we're like another 5-6 years away from that conversation, in all honesty.
Right,
the way he wrestles right now, he could wrestle another 10 years.
Yeah, I said
sunset. That's what I'm saying.
Like, the sun is going to set. It's not
like
dark.
back 9.
It's not
back 9.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
back
this
9
is the
of
back
the
9
course.
of it.
I got you.
But like, you have to have another guy. Like, you can't, because after Mania, Brock's going to go away again, and then you just had him beat another one of your top guys. No, Bobby has to win that at Mania. Because if you think about it, after Mania, if they bring in another influx of kids, those kids are 20, 26. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's another round of youth coming. And what's interesting about wrestling is that this is kind of like the first time we've seen, like, longevity in the entire industry. You know how long The Rock's run was in WWE?
It was like 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Total. Stone Cold's run.
That's nuts.
And it felt like forever at the time. It felt like forever.
Correct.
Brock's first
He's
run.
never going to go anywhere.
3 years. Angle's run. 3 years. Like, you don't see longevity like in the sport like that. So that's why I say, like, because he has this longevity, it's time to start moving the next guys up that have longevity. Like, Bobby's that next class of guys. He's getting into the point where he's like in the longevity part of his career. Brock should be closer to the end, the back 9, if you will. Especially when you consider how young those kids are in NXT right now, and how young like some of those top guys on the roster are right now. Rhea Ripley's like 23. You get what I'm saying? Tyler Bate is 22. Bron Breakker might be 26. Like, your next crop of guys is young. And if you want them to have the time, you got to clear out some space.
And I just love how Triple H is finally seeing, like what we all saw. This is how you properly lose Brock Lesnar. He doesn't need to be in the title picture. I don't even think Brock cared about being in the title picture. He's just like, you paying me, I'm going to do what you want me to do. Because you paying me really well. So
I agree with that.
Yeah. So
all about his bread.
Right. So to have him out here and in these they're valuable feuds, but they're not the primary feud. So to have him in that way where he's still an attraction, but he's just not going for the biggest prize is, I think, a way to maximize the twilight, like you said, of his career.
Yep.
And I agree. I don't see Bobby winning this. I think Brock will win. Maybe there's some shenanigans that keep the feud going, like you said, because I don't think it's over either. But yeah, the feud has to end with Bobby winning, or else it's kind of pointless.
BA, it's on you.
I think you guys, your point, Dub, about the end game of this makes me believe that Bobby's gonna win this first fight of this whole feud. This is gonna go all the way through WrestleMania.
Bobby won the first one.
No, I'm talking about since Brock came back after his Roman stuff. This is fresh. This is a new feud as far as the feud goes. This isn't. We're not picking up from Royal Rumble.
I think we are. I think that's why Brock attacked Bobby, because if you remember going in the Rumble, how heated those promos were against each other.
Right. Okay.
And then Bobby gets that W, and then Bobby can kind of hold that up like, yeah, I beat Brock Lesnar. Brock's like, the fuck you did? You had some help.
Right.
And then, so
correct.
I think that's why Brock gets his get back here.
I can't argue with that then, with that being said, but I think that, well, you know what? Not final on this decision. It'll be Brock. And the reason being, where we at? We in Saudi. Saudis like to see the people they know win.
Yeah.
That's why they still asking for Undertaker and Hulk Hogan if they're going to be wrestling at these things every time they show up there. They're not coming through the curtains, guys.
Hey, Mr. H, are we going to get a Triple H match? No, guys, I'm retired. What about Ric Flair?
Right.
No, guys, it's not happening.
Ric Flair would say
yes.
He's
not allowed to come here.
Oh,
yet.
Rick would say yes.
I can wrestle again? Yeah. Undertaker
That's why he's not there.
Yeah, Undertaker would drag his busted ass hip. Oh, they want me to wrestle again? I guess the Taker's got to ride again.
He'd look at Michelle like, honey, gotta go. One last ride, honey. One last ride.
She's looking at him like, you better fucking not.
Right, exactly. I'm gonna hit up our lawyer. He's gonna be my lawyer.
Taker would look at Michelle, and Michelle would call Giselle like, "Hey, we gotta talk."
Right. Who's your guy again? Is he on retainer? How much is he again? Yeah, we got a problem.
All right, and then
very similar to Tom.
And then, of course, what else we got? I'm sorry. We got Bianca Belair versus Bayley for the Raw Women's titles. The next matchup, gentlemen, free. I feel like this is going to connect to an earlier match. So, what are you thinking? What are we thinking?
Kind of building off what I said about the tag titles, I think Bayley goes over. Probably some shenanigans because it's a Falls Count Anywhere match. Well, no, last woman standing match.
That's right.
So probably some shenanigans similar to the one we saw at SummerSlam with Brock and Roman. Damage Control will get involved, and they're going to be all standing with the women's gold. Now, it would be cool to see Bayley as champion, especially that kind of solidifies why she came back, because it's a waste to not have her in that role. But I actually want to see Rhea be the one to take the belt off Bianca. I think Rhea has really established herself as a beast in that women's division. They're having her more attached to Judgment Day, so she's not really interacting with other women like that. Mm-hmm. But I think they could easily sell her as being the one to take it off Bianca. But I'm cool with Bayley winning it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Bayley winning it. I'm predicting Bayley wins it as well. More so, even like outside of the ring, I think after Survivor Series, Bianca's going to get some well-deserved time off. Especially since, Montez is injured too, and the holidays are coming up, and she's been a workhorse for a while. So I'm going Bayley.
And she's better chasing. She's better chasing than having.
She is she does need to have some reigns and have some long reigns because of who she is and like how she works and her style. But yeah, she's a much better chaser. I do agree there. I think Bayley wins, and I think that gets us closer to Sasha coming back.
I'm gonna completely disagree with both of you gentlemen. I think it'll be Bianca, and it'll be because Becky helps out when Damage Control comes in and tries to help out Bayley. And then we get our Survivor Series Women's War Games match. It'll have to be I could see it being Bianca, Becky, and the current champions, which is I think the reason why they put these titles on them to get them involved in the Survivor Series. And then you have Damage Control, and then maybe a fourth person randomly getting thrown in there. This is where you could possibly get your Charlotte spot. She just wrestling in a War Games match with the Damage Control girls because she's a heel in this situation.
Right.
And then after it's all done, she goes to SmackDown and goes and does her Ronda thing to book out the territory. So I think that's how this all plays out. I think Becky helps Bianca and she retains.
Oh, and there's another thing I thought about that can have a factor. Nikki Cross could be a factor in this match. I don't think they changed their whole gimmick back.
There's your fourth member of Damage Control.
Yeah,
there's your fourth member.
Nikki Cross could be a reason why Bayley wins or Bianca wins. I feel like she might be a factor.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. I'm gonna book it out. So, first of all, BA, you're wrong. Bayley's winning this match. But Becky does come back. But and they start to build the War Games, and Damage Control can't find a fourth because everybody fucking hates them. So, Bayley offers Nikki a title shot if she helps Damage Control win Survivor Series. And Crazy Nikki is like, yeah, I kind of want that thing back. So, all right, I won't continue whooping y'all ass for this 1 week for Survivor Series. Boom, and there you go. That's how you book that.
And that works because the backstage segments will be hilarious with Bayley trying to find a fourth.
Yep,
they would be hilarious.
Yep. Bayley's fucking gold.
Would be a great way to bring Billy Kay back. Billy Kay just pops in, hands Bayley her resume and headshot. Huh?
Callbacks.
It's possible. I mean, if Trips wants to keep his spree of just bringing back people just because, that's a perfect just because right there.
See? They should just
say the least.
They should just let me book the territory. And all right, gentlemen, the main event. Logan Paul, social media megastar, versus the guy who's having one of the most unbelievable runs I've ever watched in my 30 years of watching this sport. The tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns, for the undisputed title. I want you to give me the winner and give me how it ends. BA, I'm going to start with you, sir.
All right. It has to be Roman. I don't see Logan Paul winning overseas. Don't see it. I think he's a bigger deal over here than he is internationally. And I see Roman winning clean. He don't need the Usos to beat or anybody to beat Logan Paul. No shots against him. He's held his own in the ring, and a couple times we've seen him. But I mean, I don't see him getting lucky. This ain't boxing. He can't sneak a lucky punch in there to try to knock out Roman. That's not happening. I see Roman winning clean, honestly, Doug.
Okay, BA. I'm not trying to be free. I'm gonna get this right.
It definitely has to be Roman. You don't build him up over this 2 going on 3 year reign. It feels like to have him lose to someone who's still not really a wrestler. But BA, I read that the Saudi Prince is actually a really big fan of Logan Paul, and that's why he's in the match.
I read that too.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's different then.
Right. But I still, you're absolutely right though. Roman is not winning. I mean, Roman is not losing this match. It's just a matter of how he's going to win. And I think he wins. He wins sort of heelish, but not with help. I think it's something like, kind of like what happened to the Demon Finn Balor. Not that ridiculous though, but maybe Logan goes to the top rope and Roman pushes him and he falls on the turnbuckle, something like that. Something where he takes a little too much time or tries something a little too high risk, and it does it, and Roman takes advantage, and that's how he gets the win, probably by guillotine choke. To make Logan look strong too, maybe Logan doesn't get pinned, he just gets choked out, and we continue the reign.
So I'm going Roman wins by guillotine choke as well. I think you get 3 spots here. I think you get a spot of, so I think a referee gets knocked out at some point, and Logan knocks Roman out pins him, realize the referee isn't there, and like, oh my God. And then knocks out Solo, knocks out both Usos, and then by the time he's done knocking out all the Usos, he gets a spear, and then Roman picks him up and just chokes the ever living life out of him, and that's how you get your victory from Roman Reigns. So that way, the Saudi Prince gets what he wants to see: Logan Paul doing cool shit and throwing punches and knocking people out. But you carry on to Roman Reigns towards WrestleMania in the most unbelievable title run we've ever seen.
I like that, but I don't like that because it makes Logan look a little too strong. But because, like we talked about, the Prince wants to see him, I could definitely see that happening.
That's the only reason I would book it that way, because the Prince wants to see him. Like if if this was anywhere else, Roman just beats him clean with a spear after a good 10-minute match, and we're done.
Yeah, it's a Brock-like squash of Kofi if this is in the States.
I would love that. I would love to see that. That would be hilarious to me. I would love to see that.
Oh, the internet would break.
Big fact.
If Roman squashed Logan Paul. Internet would just break. But
yeah, but you can't pick against the tribal chief, man. He ain't losing overseas.
Speaking of the tribal chief, did you guys see the promo he cut on Raw as he was leaving the ring, talking to the camera? Was ready to run through a wall.
Better and better.
Such good shit.
Oh man,
such good shit.
He said, "Why you ain't talking about him knocking me out? Man. I'm tired of being humble. I'm the guy. This is my." I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, I need to go to the gym right now.
He's just on a whole other level, and it's just like something just clicked one day. Like he was just sitting there while he was at home, and he was like, "This is how we gonna do it," and he's just been on a run ever since.
Yep.
Yep. I started with that sociopath shit and taking it from there.
Yeah,
and I think he knew his leverage with Vince. Like, hey, I am who you wanted, and I'm only coming back if we do it this way and my way. And he uses leverage, and he's been going crazy ever since.
So good, good.
I think it started with Heyman. Honestly,
he's gotten so much better at talking away from a microphone. And just being loud and being arrogant. Like the stuff he did with John Cena, the stuff he did with Seth he was choking him out when the ref was like, let him go. And Roman was like, I tried to let it go. He won't let me let it go. I was like, this is so good. This is so good. Like
everything with Jey Uso.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That look up he did on Friday when Jey was like, I don't give a damn what the tribal chiefs are. And Roman looked out. I was like, I felt like I was about to get a whooping. I was like,
right, yeah.
I know that look. I've seen it before in my nightmares. Yeah, him and Jay especially have mastered facial features and their acting to the point where, again, for you've been listening, having WrestleMania in Hollywood is the worst idea they're ever gonna have. They about to kiss a lot of people goodbye. I mean, they get one look at Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, out of there. One look at Roman standing next to Rock, gone.
Well, Roman said that he already got his foot out there in Hollywood. He just waiting for the right opportunity.
He got the Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. But I'm saying
for the right opportunity.
But all those executives who are now cool with Dwayne are gonna just be at WrestleMania and watch that match and see that guy, and they'd be like, "Yeah, no, how much is Jason Momoa for a movie? Yeah, no, we found it. We found his replacement. We're good."
Shit, Sasha gonna come back to just leave again.
Exactly.
Sam might take Naomi with her.
Sasha come back. She taking Bianca with her. She taking Charlotte with her. If Bron Breakker's there, he might be gone.
Cody even got that 90s Dolph Lundgren look,
Yes, he does.
When they see Cody come out to that pyro and they see how the fans react to him and that emotion he elicits, they might be like, yo, we gotta get him the fuck up out of here too.
Now, question. I do not feel Rock and Roman needs to be for a title. I think Roman should drop it before Mania.
No, absolutely not. So, and audience, we know you guys have heard this before, but let me book it out for free the way I've booked it out. BA likes this as well. So the way you do it is Seth wins that title from Roman at Mania, and I think this is where Sammy gets kicked out because he ends up costing Roman that belt. And then you still keep the bloodline together because Jey Uso's like, see, I fucking told you. And then that's how they kick Sammy out. But Seth gets that belt. Cody wins the Rumble. You get Cody.
Oh, Cody's 100%. If he's healthy, he's 100%.
You get Cody Seth 3 at it'll be 3 or 4 at Mania, and then Cody wins that belt at Mania. And then at whatever pay-per-view it is before Mania, Roman's beating the shit out of Sammy. And as he's looking like he's getting ready to actually kill Sammy, if you smile, you're like, oh shit, we're really getting it. We're really getting it. And then from there,
that's the only way you
don't need 8 weeks of build between Rock and Roman. It takes 2.
Build's been there.
Yeah, it doesn't even take 2 weeks. It just takes a stare down, and you're like,
I can see it happening at Elimination Chamber because you can get one international appearance of The Rock, have it be at Elimination because it's in Montreal.
Boom,
and then you're on the road to WrestleMania from there.
Yep. There it is.
My only thing is I like Seth winning. I feel like it's the only person that I could see having a match with Cody at Mania. But do we really want to see Seth put over Cody 4 times?
Yes.
I think the narrative speaks to that happening, like if they get in the ring again because of what the last 3 matches have been. And it's not like Seth's like getting squashed. Like these are matches where it could be either way, like little shit that puts Cody over.
He's the Rock to Cody Stone Cold because it took the Rock. Because we forget the Rock and Stone Cold had matches that weren't on Manias where Austin won too.
Mm-hmm.
So
true, absolutely. Like when Rock was IC champ and shit like that.
Yeah, IC champ. The infamous, I think it was Backlash when The Rock had the camcorder and he got stunned through the announcement table. That was Backlash.
That was funny.
Yep.
But I think Cody can go over Seth that 4th time, and I think Seth's cool with it because again, he's getting whatever that huge payday is to walk into WrestleMania as champion. So.
And Seth's old school. He don't care about wins and losses. I think part of it does because he's mentioned how he feels he's in Roman's shadow.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a traditionalist. He understands that, the ring work is what matters the most.
Yeah.
And putting on a show.
And I think Seth's a guy. If you pitch him a good enough story, he'd be like, "Yeah, that works. That's how we should do it."
But the only wrench in this plan is I feel like they're slowly turning him face again. From what we saw on Raw on Monday, he got the blonde hair back. It was a heel versus heel match with Theory. So one of them got to be a face because WWE rarely, if ever, does heel versus heel matches.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, Seth's going to just go back face just naturally, organically. But I think the rivalry with Cody, he could even be face by then. But
I was just about to say I could buy a face versus face.
The rivalry with Cody is just built on so much like animosity between like how Seth attacked him after the Hell in a Cell match, how Seth is one of Dusty's kids, but Cody is Dusty's kid. Like there's so much there that they can build off of that even if Seth is face at the time, you can still build it and have something epic come out of it.
I can't definitely agree.
And then Seth can go on and just have another face run for as long as it lasts. I mean, we can all agree it's never gone great, but we also have never seen this version of Seth Rollins as at the peak of his powers either as a face either. So it's anything's possible with Seth Rollins.
Just off of possibilities, 39 is shaping up to be looking like it might be one of the best Manias ever.
Oh yeah.
You hope free if they do it the right way. I mean, the good thing is Trips gets it more than Vince ever did.
And he's gonna feel that pressure.
Quality of a show.
He's gonna feel that pressure to be like, I have to deliver. It's my first.
His first
Mania.
one, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
first one. So I agree with you. I think the biggest thing out of these different booking of the territories, it's a realistic way to get both of these belts off of Roman to get these back on each brand versus how it's been since WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, because the other thing I said, Free, and not to cut you off there, BA, but I said, like, if you put both belts on Cody's the type of guy where he can come out on Monday and cut a promo and be like, SmackDown deserves to have its own title. I'm on Monday Night Raw. And he leaves one of those belts in the middle of that ring, and then somebody, wins that belt in a match, and then that's whoever Austin Theory cashes in on, because I don't think you leave the week after Mania without Austin Theory having a title. If I'm being 100% honest.
Two things to respond to that, because I kind of want to show you how I would book it. But number one, I've heard rumors that they're positioning Theory to be the first to carry the briefcase for the full calendar year.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But honestly, I like the idea of him cashing in on Bron Breakker. I like the idea of him going. I know it kind of devalues the briefcase a little bit, but I like that idea of him cashing in on Bron Breakker and being an NXT champ. So I think he would do great in NXT.
I would argue that it doesn't.
I think it has a dimension.
Yeah, I don't
to
think
it
it devalues the briefcase. I think it elevates the NXT title.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
That too.
It adds a different dimension to the briefcase.
Because if that's the case, if he can
opinion.
cash it in on the NXT title, that means he could have cashed it in on the IC or US title. That automatically means that the NXT title is more important than the IC and US title. It elevates the NXT title to me.
Which it should be. Which it 100% should be.
So
even though those titles have more history.
Right. Right.
I like that. Here's how I would book the separating the belts, because Roman's on his God run, but he's not afraid to win in a heel way by cheating. So say Survivor Series or Elimination Chamber, he's in a title match, whether it's in the chamber or just one-on-one. He's wrestling somebody, say it's Seth, and Seth beats him. And maybe like the Raw or the SmackDown before that event, they have a contract signed. Seth beats him. The next day, Raw or SmackDown, whatever, Roman comes out. He has Paul Heyman with him. Paul Heyman has him pull the contract, and he'd be like, "You didn't read the fine print. The only title that was on the line was the WWE title. So Roman is still your Universal Champion." That's how I would book it, separating those belts, because it gets Roman over as a heel more, and you're still protecting the person that you had beat Roman.
It's good.
Hey.
I just hate the whole paperwork thing.
But that's some wrestling shit,
but
I know.
But this
it
regime,
is.
though, has shown that's very capable of it. They did it on the most important belt in NXT. Why can't they do it here?
Yeah, I mean, they did it
That's
on
how I look
Dynamite
at
this
it.
week. They're like, whoever wins this triple threat gets the contract to face against their dream opponent in Atlantic City. I'm like, so fucking stupid. But I'm like, it's a wrestling
Yeah, that was
thing.
dumb.
But yeah, I can see that as well. I wouldn't be mad at that. I love when
that's how I would do it.
I love when Heyman kind of Jewishes it up and just plays to all those tropes.
Hey, be careful. Be careful, A-Dub. Be careful. They just suspended Kyrie. Be careful.
Penalty box,
He plays up the tropes of how he's Jewish. He's like, because even at Raw, he's talking about how he was at the synagogue and he was talking to his doctor who knows another doctor who knows another doctor. And he said, you know how we kafoots? And I'm like, this is so good. Man. This is so good. This is so Jerry Seinfeld-esque.
He said, what did he say that one time? I'm from Brooklyn. I'll whoop your ass. I'm like, you won't, but I believe that. I felt that, but you won't do it. But I felt
me on the mic.
But I believe that you believe it.
Right. Your stature tells me different, but you sold it. So. Well done.
Man.
Job well done.
And ladies and gentlemen, that has been another great, phenomenal, if you will, episode of Let Me Book the Territory. I want to thank our guest host, Free, for popping in here, covering for the homie E-Ray. Want to thank BA for finally getting out of a Wakandan jail.
Who says I'm out allegedly, according to y'all?
Hey,
but that's
like
all
I said, the
story.
underwater Mexicans bailed him out. The underwater Mexicans broke him out.
Yeah, we got to get you out of here before it's lights out. I totally get it. All right, guys. If you guys are looking for me on Twitter and on Instagram, I am at ADUB1220. Every Tuesday, we got new episodes of Embrace the Turn Up. Me and my homie John. If you're looking for me there, that's on all your podcast platforms. Hit the people with your socials that don't exist.
Y'all already know, man. Y'all not gonna find me anywhere, but you'll find this podcast page on Twitter at Let Me Book Pod. Making some of the best takes, controversial sometimes. Who knows? I can tell you, I will not be live tweeting during this Saturday afternoon show because BA has a whole ass family and things going on this weekend, and my kids are crazy. So I will tweet when I'm able to watch it. Probably Saturday night. It's gonna be a chill night on Saturday, so you'll see some tweets out of me once I'm able to catch up with the rest of the IWC. But yeah, outside of that, that's what BA's got going on. And Also free. Feel free to come back. No pun intended.
Oh man,
Anytime that you
y'all
like,
stuck
sir.
with me now. Y'all
absolutely.
Y'all done
Hey
fucked
man,
up.
I'm here for it. I love the energy, man.
Whenever
I'm here
y'all
for
need
it.
me, I'm here.
Absolutely. Free drop your
I'm
socials.
a hot tag away.
Yes, hey man, hey.
I like that.
Tag it up,
I
brother.
like that.
Y'all can find me on Twitter at despicable_free, and on Instagram at freeluminati. So y'all can hit me up there, interact with your boy. We talk wrestling. I need more people to talk wrestling with on social media. So yeah, let's do it.
Boom. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. And watch Saudi Blood Money 12. Interact with us. Tweet us, even though we might not be watching live. Tweet us anyway. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, man.
Hit us up about your picks. Good. Everybody go out and wish E-Ray a happy belated birthday. And until next time, guys, remember that wrestling is everything and everything is wrestling. And when you see us out, just hit us with that too sweet. And we are out.
Peace.
Nice.